My name is Mike Buchholz, and I grew up with Matt.
I'm Mike.
Hello. Matt was one of my first friends when I moved at a young age to New Hampshire, and quickly became one of my closest. He's someone I've always been able to count on when I needed support, advice, of course a good laugh, or as I'll explain today, a nice out-of-school suspension. It was a late spring day, and with all the misguided confidence of any 17-year-old, Matt, fueled by a sudden thirst for anarchy, decided 3 straight years of confinement to a school cafeteria was enough, and recruited me instead to get takeout Chinese food with him from a nearby restaurant located in the back corner of a dilapidated gas station. Now, what I honestly thought would be viewed at most as the harmless embrace of fine international cuisine was instead responded with the full force of our school's administration. To the point where, and you'll back me up, they literally strapped a teacher to a golf cart and sent him chasing us down. Now, while we successfully dodged between cars on our way back indoors, evading detection, not even the least trained of noses could miss the delicious aroma emanating from the bags of General Tso's chicken and pork-fried rice we had clenched in our hands. We'd be told to pack up our stuff and head home for the remainder of the week. Now, what I remember most about all this, however, was Matt's reaction. I ran into him in the hall that day, and his face was visibly upset. I imagined him fearing what his parents might say, their disappointment. Maybe even having irrational fears of no longer being able to graduate, not go to college. Maybe being forced to one day work in that same rundown gas station, in that same back corner, at that same takeout counter. As I began apologizing, he cut me off, and I knew the issue was something far, far more serious. Still in shock, his eyes were glazed over, and he was staring down at nothing in particular as he gasped, "Someone ate my General Tso's chicken." So I can say this about Matt: when his mind is set on something, his focus is unbreakable. I'm not telling you this story, but I remember the first day I met Lindsay. Matt had asked me to come down and grab dinner with him, and as we walked through town, countless restaurants piqued my interest, but with each we'd pass, he would glance at his phone, shake his head no. Over the span of 30 minutes on a block that took just 3 minutes to traverse, Matt seemed hopelessly distracted, peering into each passing window but never seeming satisfied. Near starvation on my final whims of strength, I finally saw Matt's phone light up. News from some anonymous tipster. A smile crossed his face, and he announced he knew the perfect spot and began leading us into the dark down some train tracks. Now, for as long as I've known Matt doesn't just walk anywhere. Rather, he has this tendency to spontaneously break out into a jog. And so I suddenly found myself sprinting in the dark on the most unforgiving of terrain. Falling continually, I am bruised and battered, and I am gasping for air as I finally crawl back up onto the pavement. Looking up to realize we're in the parking lot of BA Systems, where Matt works, at the doorstep of Margarita's Mexican restaurant, the local microbrewery he promised me. And to my horror, I see Matt break out into a strut, just as a surprised Lindsay walks out the door, and Matt coolly declares that we were just walking by. In all honesty, Matt has been someone I've been very fortunate to call as a friend for a long time. He's one of the most caring, genuine, and dependable people I know. I could stand up here all night telling stories about the way Matt has touched my life, as I'm sure many of you could too. But most of all, I just want him to know how much it means to me to know he's found someone that completes him as perfectly as Lindsay. And Lindsay, for as long as I've known Matt, I have truly never seen him as happy as I have since he walked into his life. So, while I don't have a glass, if everyone could please raise theirs. Everyone can now please join me in a toast. To Matthew and Lindsay Gallagher, I know you will have a long, happy, and beautiful life together. I love you both and cannot be more proud to stand by you today. Congratulations.
Yeah, that was really good. There will be a lot more up and down.